Last night, a woman in her early 50s wrote me a message at 1 a.m. She said, "I don't understand. I've been eating less, I even skipped dessert all week. But then today, I caved. I had carrot cake, and now, I can't stop thinking about it. What's wrong with me?" And I'll be honest with you, her story isn't unique. It might be yours too. Here's the shocker. It's not about willpower. It's not about being weak. It's about your brain. Quick question. Why do just one slice promises almost always fail after 40? Why do cravings feel stronger and belly fat more stubborn? And what's the one thing you can do in the next 14 days to flip this switch off? Stay with me, because we're breaking this down today. After 40, we notice that food cravings seem stronger than ever. You tell yourself just one slice, but you're thinking about it again tomorrow. And the more you fight it, the more exhausting it feels. Here's the truth nobody tells you. Sugar and processed foods hijack your dopamine system, the same reward system in your brain that drives motivation and pleasure. That's why you can enjoy a slice of cake, but within minutes, your brain whispers, "I want more." And if you've ever wondered, why can't I just stop? You're not broken, you're human, and your brain is simply doing what it's wired to do. But here's the good news. Just like your brain can be tricked into craving sugar, it can also be retrained to crave healthy foods, feel satisfied, and finally break free. In today's video, I'll show you exactly how that works. We'll talk about the dopamine trap, why it gets worse after 40, and most importantly, how you can reset your cravings in just a few weeks. If you've ever felt trapped in this cycle, drop a quick yes in the comments so you know you're not alone. So let's start with the carrot cake moment. That feeling of, why do I already want more? And uncover what's happening in your brain. The carrot cake moment. A story we all know. We've all been there. You promise yourself you'll be good, maybe even skip dessert for a few days. And then it happens. A slice of carrot cake sitting right in front of you. You take a bite, and for a moment it feels terrific. But here's the strange part. Almost instantly, your brain is already whispering, "One more slice won't hurt." This is not just about carrot cake. For some people, it's a cookie at night. For others, a piece of chocolate after lunch. And if you're over 40, you might notice something else. Those cravings feel stronger than they did when you were younger, and the weight seems to stick around a lot longer. I once spoke with a man in his late 40s who laughed and said, "I don't even like sweets that much, but for some reason I can't stop once I start." What he didn't realize, and what many of us don't, is that this isn't a weakness. It's the dopamine system in action. That powerful chemical makes us want more, even when our bodies don't need it. The lesson here is simple but powerful. Cravings are not about lack of discipline, but about how your brain is wired. And the encouraging news is, you can actually retrain it. So let's dive deeper into this dopamine cycle and uncover why sugar hijacks your brain after 40. What he didn't realize, and many of us don't, is that this isn't a weakness. It's the dopamine system in action. Have you ever told yourself, just one slice, and then ended up eating more? Let me know below. I think we've all been there. Dopamine 101. Why sugar hijacks your brain. Let's talk about what's happening in your brain when you reach for that cake, cookie, or candy bar. The key player here is dopamine, a chemical that acts like your brain's motivation messenger. When you eat something sweet, dopamine surges, giving you that quick pleasure. But here's the twist. It's not about enjoying the food you're eating. It's about making you want more of it. Think about the last time you had chocolate. You take one square, it melts in your mouth and tastes fantastic. But almost instantly, your mind starts planning. Maybe just one more piece. Oh look, that corner broke off. I might as well eat it too. That's dopamine in action. The pleasure is short, but the urge for more lingers. And here's why this matters even more after 40. As our metabolism slows and hormones shift, the body becomes less forgiving. The same slice of cake that used to be no big deal now sticks around your waistline, and the cycle of craving repeats faster. It's not weakness, it's biology. The lesson? Sugar hijacks your brain's reward system, leaving you chasing satisfaction that never fully arrives. But the hopeful news is, once you understand this cycle, you can break it. So let's explore why these cravings feel even stronger after 40, and how they connect directly to stubborn belly fat. That's dopamine in action. The pleasure is short, but the urge for more lingers. If this explains a lot for you, hit the like button so YouTube shows this to more people who need to hear it. The hidden trap after 40. Here's where things get tricky. Once you cross 40, your body isn't running on the same engine it did in your 20s or 30s. Metabolism slows down. Muscle mass naturally declines unless you actively work to maintain it, and hormones begin to shift. This means your body burns fewer calories at rest, and storing fat, especially around the belly, becomes easier. Add sugar cravings on top of that, and you've got a dangerous combination. I remember a man in his late 40s who told me, "I didn't change my eating habits that much, but suddenly, the same foods I used to enjoy started showing up on my waistline." This is the hidden trap. It's not just about the carrot cake, the cookie, or the soda. It's how those foods interact with a slower metabolism and a body more prone to insulin resistance as we age. That's why cravings feel stronger, and the weight gain feels stickier. The fundamental insight here is this. After 40, the margin for error shrinks. What you could get away with before now has lasting consequences. But that doesn't mean you're powerless. It means the small choices you make matter more than ever. So how do we turn this around? It starts with retraining your taste buds and rewiring how your brain experiences food. And that's precisely what we'll dive into next. That's when she realized her brain had reset. Imagine that happening for you. What food do you wish you could stop craving? Write it down below. How to rewire your taste buds. The good news is, your brain isn't stuck in this cycle forever. Just as it learned to crave sugar, it can also learn to enjoy healthier foods. Scientists call this neuroplasticity. But in simple terms, it means your taste buds and brain can be retrained. And it happens faster than most people think. I once worked with a woman in her early 50s who swore she could never give up soda and cookies. But after just 3 weeks of focusing on whole foods, things like lean meats, vegetables, fruits, eggs, and plenty of water, something amazing happened. On her daughter's birthday, she took a bite of cake, and instead of feeling joyful, she felt sick. The food that once felt irresistible suddenly seemed heavy, overly sweet, even unpleasant. That's when she realized her brain had reset. Here's the key insight. The more you remove processed foods, the more your body learns to recognize the natural flavors and nutrients in real food. A crisp apple, a juicy peach, even roasted vegetables begin to taste better than packaged snacks. And the cravings? They shrink day by day until they no longer control you. So if taste buds can be rewired, the real question becomes, how do you break the sugar cycle in a way that lasts? Let's talk about what happens in those crucial first 14 days. Within 2 weeks, most people notice fewer cravings, more stable energy, and even a better night's sleep. If you'd like to try this 14-day challenge, comment, "I'm in." I'd love to cheer you on. The first 14 days, breaking the sugar cycle. The first 2 weeks without sugar are often the most complex and powerful. Think of it as a reset button for your brain and your body. During those first 14 days, cravings may feel intense. You might daydream about cake, ice cream, or a midnight snack. That's normal. It's your dopamine system looking for its usual fix. But if you can push through, something remarkable starts to happen. Take Maria, 49, for example. She told me that on day 3 she felt grumpy and even a little foggy, but by day 7, her energy began to climb. By day 10, she noticed something surprising. The cookies she once thought about constantly didn't call her name anymore. By day 14, she said fruit, especially strawberries, tasted sweeter than ever, almost like candy. That's the power of retraining your taste buds. Here's the key insight. Cravings are temporary, but the freedom you gain lasts. Every day you say no to sugar, you're teaching your brain that it doesn't need that quick dopamine hit to feel satisfied. Within 2 weeks, most people notice fewer cravings, more stable energy, and a better night's sleep. Now, does that mean you should avoid every single treat forever? Not at all. The goal isn't perfection, it's balance. And that's what we'll uncover next with a simple but life-changing rule. What matters most is the pattern, not the single moment. Does that feel freeing to you? If so, hit the subscribe button. I share a lot more about balance over restriction. Balance, not perfection. The 90-10 rule. Here's a truth most people don't realize. You don't have to be perfect to see results. In fact, trying to be perfect with your diet is one of the biggest reasons people give up. That's where the 90-10 rule comes in. If 90% of your meals are built around whole, nutrient-dense foods, lean proteins, vegetables, fruits, healthy fats, then the other 10% can be your joy foods. That slice of pie at Thanksgiving, the ice cream cone with your grandkids, or even a glass of wine with friends. I once worked with a woman in her early 60s who was terrified of sugar. She avoided every treat for months, but it turned into a full-on binge when she finally gave in. That's the danger of all or nothing thinking. When she embraced the 90-10 approach, the guilt disappeared. She enjoyed her treats without losing control, and her progress accelerated because she was no longer stuck in the binge and restrict cycle. The lesson is simple. Balance builds freedom. By giving yourself permission for that occasional indulgence, you stop feeling deprived, and when you don't feel deprived, cravings lose their power. What matters most is the pattern, not the single moment. So now the question is, beyond food choices, what lifestyle habits can make it easier to control cravings and keep the weight off? Let's explore those powerful levers next. What matters most is the pattern, not the single moment. Does that feel freeing to you? If so, hit the subscribe button. I share a lot more about balance over restriction. Lifestyle levers that make cravings easier to control. Food is only one piece of the puzzle. The truth is, your daily habits can either fuel your cravings or make them much easier to control. And the good news? These lifestyle levers don't require a gym membership or fancy supplements. Just small shifts that create a significant impact. Take movement, for example. Studies show that even a simple 10 to 12-minute walk after dinner can lower blood sugar and calm late-night cravings. I worked with a man in his 60s who started this habit. Within weeks, his belly began to shrink, his sleep improved, and he stopped raiding the pantry at night. Morning sunlight is another powerful tool. Just 10 minutes outside in the early hours helps reset your circadian rhythm, boosting your energy during the day and reducing the urge to reach for sugary pick-me-ups. Combine that with consistent quality sleep, and your cravings naturally fade because your body isn't desperately looking for quick energy. The insight here is simple but profound. When you align your lifestyle with your biology through movement, light, and rest, you give your brain and body the stability they need to quiet cravings. And once those cravings lose grip, weight loss feels less like a battle and more like a natural process. So now the question becomes, How do you combine all of this and finally regain control of your health without feeling deprived? Let's wrap it all up in the final takeaway. When you align your lifestyle with your biology through movement, light, and rest, you give your brain and body the stability they need to quiet cravings. Which of these do you want to try first? Walking after meals, sunlight in the morning, or better sleep? Let me know. The takeaway: regain control, not lose freedom. You don't have to give up joy to lose weight. You just need control. Cravings aren't weakness, they're dopamine. After 40, the trap tightens, but you are not stuck. You can retrain your brain, reset your taste buds, and reclaim health without losing the joy of food. Think of Maria with her strawberry candy. Think of the man whose belly shrank from walking. These aren't extreme diets, just sustainable shifts. Lesson: progress comes from consistency, not perfection. Understand cravings, balance foods, align lifestyle, and unlock energy and confidence you haven't felt in years. If this video gave you hope, share it with a friend over 40 struggling with cravings. And don't miss the next one, where we uncover whether insulin resistance is why belly fat feels impossible to lose.